Whispers in the Chamber, a psychological horror story inspired by the Russian sleep experiment. In the harsh winter of 1947, deep beneath a nondescript Soviet military facility, 5 men were sealed inside a steel-reinforced test chamber. They were political prisoners, volunteers, offered amnesty in exchange for participating in a top-secret military experiment. Their task seemed simple: remain awake for 30 consecutive days while breathing a carefully controlled stimulant gas. The experiment was part of a classified effort to push the boundaries of human endurance. The Soviet regime believed that if they could remove the need for sleep, they could create soldiers who were unstoppable, alert, efficient, and tireless. For the first few days, everything went according to plan. Day 1 to 4. Adaptation. At first, the chamber buzzed with nervous energy. The men talked openly, shared jokes, and recounted memories of life outside, real or imagined. The gas, colorless and odorless, hissed softly through ceiling vents. It seemed to sharpen their minds. Their conversations became rapid, complex, almost philosophical. One subject remarked, "I can see time moving now. It's slower than we thought." They were being watched at all times. Microphones picked up every sound, and observation portholes allowed researchers to view the room, though the reinforced glass often fogged from condensation. Nothing seemed unusual until the talking stopped. Day 5 to 7. Isolation. By the 5th day, the chamber fell eerily quiet. There was no arguing, no laughter, just silence, punctuated by the occasional shuffle or tap. The researchers checked the microphones. They were working. The subjects had simply stopped speaking. When asked to respond over the intercom, there was no reply. They moved in slow, synchronized patterns, avoiding eye contact with each other. One technician noted that the silence was worse than screaming. By day 7, whispers began to emerge. Not spoken into the microphones, but caught on the edge of hearing. They were unintelligible, syllables without form, sometimes repeating in rhythm. "Are they talking to each other?" a researcher asked. But when they checked the footage, none of the subjects' mouths were moving. Day 8 to 10. Refusal. On the 10th day, the researchers decided to test communication again. "State your name and condition," they said through the intercom. For the first time in days, a response came. A voice, calm and flat, answered, "We are still awake. Do not turn off the gas." Startled, the staff pressed for more, but no further reply came. Only more silence, and the soft, continuous hiss of the gas. One subject paced in slow circles for hours. Another stood motionless, staring at the camera lens. He blinked once every few minutes. They no longer showed signs of tiredness. No drooping eyes, no sluggish speech. In fact, they seemed too alert. Day 11 to 14. Reflections. Odd things began to happen in the control room. Audio tapes recorded strange feedback, long droning sounds that didn't correspond to anything happening inside the chamber. One researcher complained of hearing whispers in his dreams. Another claimed the test subjects were thinking louder than before. "They're not asleep," he wrote in a private log, "but I don't think they're awake either. They're somewhere else." On the 14th day, one subject approached the microphone and calmly stated, "You are watching your reflection, but we no longer see ours." After that, no one spoke again. Day 15. The opening. Concerned for their safety, the researchers prepared to open the chamber and terminate the test. A warning was issued through the intercom. "The gas will be shut off. You will be removed for evaluation." For the first time, panic returned. Number not yet. Don't make us sleep. Their voices came all at once. 5 overlapping tones, indistinguishable from each other. A dull banging echoed from within the chamber. Not aggressive, not chaotic, purposeful, as if following a signal only they could hear. Then the gas was shut off. When the heavy door creaked open, the team stepped inside in full protective gear. What they found defied expectation. Not chaos, not violence, but complete stillness. The subjects stood silently, eyes wide, unmoving. They did not blink. They did not ask to leave. One of them finally spoke, not to the researchers, but to the empty air. We are the waking thought. They live in the sleep. We chose the light. When questioned further, he simply repeated, "Keep the gas." Aftermath. The program was discontinued. Officially, it never happened. The chamber was sealed, its contents classified. The researchers were reassigned or dismissed. One disappeared entirely. But rumors spread about dreams that came too clearly, of voices in the static of radios left on overnight. A few even claimed to find fragments of audio logs online, distorted recordings of something breathing, speaking in a voice not quite human. The last surviving researcher wrote a letter before vanishing from public record. It ended with a line scratched in jagged ink. "Sleep is a gate." The gas kept it closed. They were never afraid of staying awake. They were afraid of what sleeps inside us all.